Hey, this is Russ. I have a new bike to show you. Take a look at this. Okay, well, it's two bikes. You've seen the one on the right. That's the Euphree City Robin X, the one in blue. And then there's a new one in black, the City Robin X Plus. Yeah, this is a brand new bike. Now you take a look at the two bikes, you kind of look at it and say, well, they look exactly the same. Well, yeah, but there's some advanced features that they've done to update the bike. So today's video, we're just going to kind of talk about the updates to the bike. We've already done a riding test and everything on the other bike. I refer you to that review because there's no reason to cover the same exact things again. You can go ahead and take a look at that review. But we'll do some riding tests as well on the new bike. But there's many updates that I'd like to talk about. So the very first one I want to talk about is cable management. So let me show you what they've done to the bike here. This is probably the best cable management I've seen in a long time. This comes right down into the head tube and comes right out. So you don't see anything hanging all over the bike. That's a major improvement. Now, another thing that I thought was very nice is they've added this nice emblem in the front. It's so good, I almost don't want to put a front basket on here to cover it. But if you do, you can put a front basket. Let me show you the other bike here. You'll see here, this is where we've put the front basket. They've supplied it on this bike. They didn't send it to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything off of this bike and put it on the other. So yeah, what I did with the basket, as you might notice, as I always do, I put a bottle holder here, and of course there's bottle bosses out here and also here. I usually put the folding lock here, but I don't do it here because I want more step through ability. So I just mounted it right here. It's just as easy. I do that for a lot of my bikes. They also changed out the fenders. Now if you let me show you this one. You see that they have metal fenders here, but the new fenders on this one is almost like twice as thick. Yeah, so they've improved the fenders and made it a lot better. The grips have changed too. Now if you look at the old one, you've got these leather grips. Let me show you this one here. Leather grips too, but the difference is this. These are made by Velo. They're locking grips. So now this thing can't spin on you. This will stay put wherever you set it in place. So that's really nice. They've also changed the sensor. Yeah, so if you take a look at the City Robin X, this is a torque sensor on this, I'm sorry, a cadence sensor on this. They've changed it to a torque sensor. Now you might look at this and say, well, Russ, we know you don't like the torque sensors. I do on this one. Some torque sensors make it difficult, but not this one. I'm able to ride this bike with no problems with the torque sensor. So what is the benefit of the torque sensor? Well, the torque sensor will give you the ability to get a little bit more exercise because as you pedal harder, the bike reacts faster. So cadence sensor, no matter what you set it for, if you have it on, say, pedal assist level 3, it's going to do that even if you barely move your legs. Okay, this one you have to put a little bit of effort to do it, but I'm able to do it on this bike. I've been able to get easily 20 miles an hour without a problem at all. Now the bike is actually a class 2 bike, but you can unlock it for a pure class 3 bike. And in the programming, you have the ability to either program it so that the throttle only goes to 20 miles per hour, or unlock it and you can do throttle all the way up to 28 if you wanted to, which of course is what I ended up doing. Okay, they've also added a nice feature called cafe lock. Now in the back here, you might notice they've got a new device here that allows you to lock the rear wheel. I don't know if you can see this well here. It's kind of hidden in there, but yeah, you can actually lock this, and there's a key to lock it and unlock it with this device here. So it's not the best lock for everything, but if you're just going to leave really quickly, get a cup of coffee and come right back out, that's a nice way to do it. Okay, of course, if you have one of the folding locks, this is a Euphree branded folding lock, you could lock the front wheel as well. It's not a problem. What else did they do? They upgraded the controller. Yeah, the controller is now a 22 amp maximum with a 20 amp program max. So that'll give you a little bit more push out of the bike, but just realize when you do that, you use up more battery as well. Now, saddles. They've included the Velo Plush saddle. This is now standard on all of the bikes. Now if you don't think this is wide enough, you can come over here and get one of these. Yeah, this is their deluxe saddle. This is a lot wider and a lot more cushier. Yeah, I'm gonna steal this one. I'm putting it on the black bike. All right, what else did they do to this thing? Well, the bike is actually slightly shorter. If you take a look right here, they've actually lowered the seat tube. Now this one is the standard City Robin X. If you go over here, this is the City Robin X Plus. They've made this shorter, and the reason is because if you're not as tall, you can get on this bike a lot easier at this point. So what else did they do? The suspension seat post is lowered, and so also the programming now allows you to have two types of programming. You can have a start of 0-1 or 0-2. 0-1 start essentially allows it to have a little more relaxed startup time. When you pedal, it'll kick in eventually, okay? 0-2 gives you more torque. It starts up a lot quicker. So it's up to you. It depends on what type of riding style you prefer. Like I said, the throttle is typically shipped in the off position, so it's like a standard class 3 bike. But if you put it in the on position, the throttle is always on. And just like the other bike, they have the adjustable stem. So you can adjust the angle of the stem so that if you want the handlebar closer to you or farther from you, you can make that adjustment. You also have the option to add this. If you have an iPhone, you could add this device here, and your phone just locks right directly in front. What comes with the bike normally is this, okay? And if you don't have the iPhone, then it just looks like this. But if you have, you know, an iPhone, you can get one of their cases. That's an option, and add that to your bike. The headlamp is the same headlamp. They have not changed that. This is really bright. I encourage you to take a look at the original video that I did, where I did a little bit of ride at night. And this is really bright. I don't usually ride at night, but yeah, it lit up the entire front path for me. So anyways, that's the major updates to the Euphree City Robin X Plus. We're going to take it out on a ride, and we'll see how well it does. But I've already ridden the bike already. I'm going to tell you, it reacts a lot better than you might think. So that torque sensor is not a problem for me. It's something that I can really do. So I guess there's torque sensors, and then there's torque sensors. This one's a good one. All right, sit tight. We'll take it out on a ride. All right, let's give this bike a try. I'm currently pedaling the bike, doing about 16 miles an hour, 17 miles an hour, something like that. I notice the kids are out there practicing baseball out there. It looks like they're done. I don't want to run anyone over, so I'm not going to go too fast right now. I'm doing about 18 miles an hour pedaling. I can easily do 20 miles an hour on this pedaling on a torque sensor. It's not an issue. All right, let me see if I can get between these people here. So I have some notes on my phone. Let me see if I can pull it up here. There's some things that I wanted to tell you that I didn't want to miss. Let me see here. Here we go. All right. The one thing I want to tell you is that the gear ratios have been changed. Yeah, what used to be 14 to 28 in the cassette is now 11 to 28. So what does that mean? Well, that means you're not going to be doing the ghost pedaling that we've been getting with all these other bikes. Yeah, kind of nice. If you shift on your shifters here, the micro shift shifters, I've noticed that what used to be the highest gear, I would be ghost pedaling on the bikes. Not so with this change going to 11 teeth instead of 14. Yeah. So if I increase my thing to the full seventh gear, you can hear it kind of kick up real quickly here. There's no way I'm ghost pedaling here. I can feel the resistance. Let me pedal up more here. I'm doing 22, 23, 24. I'm pedaling, folks. You can go higher. I'm running out of road here. I can't do it. I don't want to do it on the turn here. But yeah, if you had stronger legs than I do, and of course, as you know, I have a weaker leg and a replaced knee, you could do 28 miles an hour while pedaling. Yeah, it's not a problem. So yeah, there's torque sensors and then there's torque sensors. This is one of the better ones. All right, we'll have to hit them with the bell here. Great, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just throttling at this point. So again, you can set the throttle to just do 20 miles per hour if you want, or you can unlock it and let the throttle go all the way up to 28 miles per hour if you want. That's what I did on this bike. Okay, we're gonna let this gentleman get through this bridge first, because two of us at the same time is gonna be tough to do. So let's make sure he gets past. Here we go. All right. The weather today, it looks like it's gonna rain. It's already drizzled on me a little bit. So I think eventually it's gonna rain. So I'm not gonna do a very long ride today. I'm just gonna ride us to the hill test where we always test out the bikes, turn it around and come right back. I think that's the best I can do before the rain starts hitting us. Nice part is though, of course, in weather like this, it's a cool breeze. And so you're not sweating or anything. It's really nice. But yeah, it is threatening to rain. You can kind of see it in the sky. It's really dark. But I wanted to get the review done because I know that the release date of this bike is July 3rd. I wanted to make sure I met that deadline of July 3rd. So what do I think so far about the bike? Well, I'm impressed with the torque sensor. It's actually doing fairly well for me. I'm gonna lower the gear one. You know, on 7th gear, it's a little tougher because you know that gear ratio got changed. I could even be on 5th gear and feel comfortable with it. So yeah, I'm impressed with the torque sensor. I feel that, you know, even for me, someone who has a problem with his leg and knee, yeah, I'm riding okay with it. It's not a problem. And for those who don't have that problem, they want to use the torque sensor for additional exercise. Well, there you go. Yeah. Oh, did I ever tell you the price of the bike? I don't think I did. $2,099. Yeah. On your left. $2,099. It's a reasonable price for what the bike offers. Let's hit the button here. Let's see if people stop. Okay, we have one side, both sides are stopping. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's hit these guys with the bell too. Thank you. And gentleman sees me, so we're good. Thank you. So yeah, I've been impressed with the bike. It's been doing very well. I think it's an everyday type of bike. I think most people would be pretty happy with this bike. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a bike that I would take off-road or anything like that. I would say if you're riding around town every day and getting around and doing things, yeah, this is the type of bike you might want. The step-through design is becoming more popular, I think. More people are accepting it as the way to go. And, you know, I have step-through and step-over type bikes. But many of them are now step-through bikes. My wife had told me that, you know, you're getting older. A step-through might make more sense for you as the years go on. And that's probably true. So yeah, I've gotten used to just putting my leg right through it and not step over things. It is a lot easier, that's for sure. The brakes work very well. They're hydraulic brakes. And these are made by Tektro. The motor is made by Bafang. And as we know, Bafang motors are very strong, very good reputation. Oh, they improved the rear spokes too. They're now 12 gauge spokes. So that should be able to hold up more weight if necessary. And of course, as you know, I'm a fairly heavy rider. So anything helps. When those spokes go up, I'm happy for that. Now our battery is dropping. I have taken the bike out for a while now. So we're not running on full battery again doing this test. I probably should have charged up the battery to its full extent before coming out here because I had been riding around. But let's just see how it does. Let's just see how it does. Alright, the way we do this hill test is we usually stop by the end of this bridge and then we just throttle up there and see how far we can get when we get to the highest part of the apex of the hill. Okay, now we know that the last Euphree bike was not the best in hill climbing compared to some others, but again, this is a 500 watt motor. It peaks around the 900 or so range, something like that. So I was not expecting it to be the #1 hill climbing bike. I don't think it was designed that way. So let's see how it really does. Alright, we're heading up the hill now. So I'm just kind of keeping my eye on the speed here. And it's dropping. Let's see where it drops down to. It is dropping to 6.5, which is roughly about the same as we did last time. Now, I did do this hill climb test earlier in the day before doing this review. I'm going to turn around right now. And we were about 8.3. And I think that is a function of the battery being dropped down quite a bit. I'm down to 36% on my battery. So I'm going to say it's 6.3. I'm sorry, 8.3, because it did it before. It's only doing lower now because our batteries dropped quite a bit. And I do feel water drops hitting me now. So I think we're going to end up with some rain on me. Gotta head back. We gotta head back. Anyway, yeah, the Euphree does pretty well. I mean, for what it's been designed for, I think you'd be perfectly happy with a bike like this. It's a lot more nimble than some of the other bikes I have. Tires, I think, make it a little bit easier to move around. Some of the really big fat tires, the 4-inch wide fat tires, not that easy to move around. A lot of people think they want it, but again, you got huge rolling resistance on tires like that. I mean, if you're riding paths like I am here, in a sense, there's no real reason to have the big 4-inch fat tires. I personally like the 4-inch fat tires, but again, only on bikes that have, you know, larger motors does that make really good sense in my mind. So I'm fine with these type of tires for this type of application. I would say this, that, you know, if this was my first e-bike and trying to make decisions on what kind of e-bike I would buy, you really have to kind of look at, you know, how do you plan to ride? If you're going to go off-road, if you're going to hit some big gravel trails and everything like that, yeah, you might want the bigger fat tires. But if you're kind of like me, where I kind of stick to asphalt and concrete, things that are paved, sometimes a tire like this makes more sense. And the rolling resistance really is a reality. It really does affect your ability to ride the bike well. So anyway, my overall conclusion is the Euphree still remains a good bike. It's a good choice to do, and the upgrades that they have put on the bike is definitely a worthwhile upgrade. They didn't raise the price that much. I think it was $100 more, but the extra $100 to me makes sense. You move to the torque sensor, which a lot of people want for their bikes. You move to heavier gauge spokes in the back. You get a cafe lock that'll lock your bike. Let me show you the cafe lock. I kind of showed it really quickly in the beginning. Let me show you how it really works. I think that would make more sense, right? Let's pull off here. Let's pull off the path in case anyone comes. Yeah, I added everything to the bike now. I took everything off the other bike. All right, let me show you here. So yeah, I added the rear basket. I added the front basket. The rear basket's kind of cool. I showed it before, but if you reach underneath here, the basket unhooks. There's some things that you can clip right here, and it is an actual basket, by the way. It's got a handle, so you can go shopping with it. And all you do is you put it in here and lock it in place. Front basket is permanently locked in there because, of course, it just uses the 4 screws in the front. But I've always liked having baskets in the front. First time with the basket in the rear, I tell you, it does come in handy. So let me show you the cafe lock. Let me pull out the keys here. I have a lot of keys in my pocket. Okay, bike keys. So you're gonna have a set of keys. This type of key, if you can see it, that goes for your battery. So you can unlock over here and the battery will then come down. This other key is for the cafe lock. So what you do is you put the key in here. Okay, you turn it. Hopefully you can see that. Pull that handle down, and if you look in here, there's now a lock. You can't roll the bike. Let me show you on this side here. Right here, there's the lock that goes across there. Now, it's not a cure-all for everything. I mean, somebody could lift up the rear of the bike and just roll the bike away using just the front wheel, if you think about it. But if you get one of these and lock the front wheel, they can't roll anything. They'd have to lift it at that point. To undo this, all we have to do is put the key in the lock, turn, and now it's free again. You can hear that it just clicks. I know it's hard to see sometimes with the GoPro kind of still attached to my body, but that's what it does. Yeah, it's a good bike. Yeah, you have different colors. There's the blue color, the green color, the white one, and the black one. This one came in as black. So this is kind of a matte black on this bike. Yeah, so yeah, my impressions are it's a good bike. It probably fits somebody who's looking for a first-time bike, and for someone who just want to upgrade a bike. I think you'd be happy with it. Let's get back on the road here. Anyways, if you're interested in a bike, I will leave affiliate links in the description of the video. Go ahead and use that. That way Euphree knows it's coming from me. And I get a little credit for that. I appreciate that. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We've broken the 15,000 subscriber mark, so thank you very much for that. But I gotta get home fast because I already feel the rain hitting me. I'll talk to you guys next time.